The second Friday of every January is called National Quitters Day. It is the day when people who have set goals, who have set New Year's resolutions, who have come into the year saying New Year, New Me, have said, "Mm, never mind, it's okay. I quit." I bring this up because I have a solution for you. And also, I used to be one of those people who would start off strong. And I don't know if I would quit by the second Friday of January, but I definitely didn't make it through the first quarter, by the end of March without quitting. And so I want to tell you a little bit about my journey and how I pushed through the the desire to quit. And also, I came up with a solution along with God's help. Like, God literally gave me the solution to get over myself and get to the other side. So, just to tell you a little bit about me. So, I spent nearly 2 decades in corporate America before I was laid off in 2017. And I saw the layoff as a blessing in the beginning, because finally I could take my severance and I could actually explore the creative side of me, right? I could write. That's what I wanted to do. And I don't know if it was a little bit of delusion or what, but I was just like, nobody could tell me that this was not going to be a positive experience. Like, it had to be, it had to work out. And so a year to the day that I was laid off, I actually was holding my book in my hand, my first book in my hand, and I was at a book signing. I completely sold out of all the books that I had brought to the book signing. And so on the outside looking in, even when I was experiencing it at the moment, I really felt like, oh my God, like things are going to work out, like it's happening. But in hindsight, I was going through every stage of grief. I was grieving the life that I used to have, the life that I had when I was living in Dallas in the city, when I had money coming in every week, direct deposit, when I was able to go and do certain things, had certain amenities that I wasn't used to. Because when I was laid off, I packed up everything and I moved back home to Louisiana. And so I just thought the experience was going to be different. I had watched all those rom-coms where the girl moves back home to her hometown and she meets this guy and then everything just works out. She gets the business ideas, she starts making money. Like everything is all, blue skies, rainbows, butterflies, and all things. That was not the case. I got into a very toxic relationship. I got into the relationship and stayed in the relationship for the amount of time that I was in it because, when you have been away and you come back, you know, to your hometown, you hadn't seen folks in a while, they're going to ask you a series of questions. And three of them were on repeat, right? Um, so what have you been up to? What are you doing these days? Where do you work? Well, I wasn't working anywhere. I was writing. The other question was, are you married? Who are you dating? What's going on there? And then the third question was, when do you plan to have kids? Are you having kids anytime soon? You're not getting any younger. These were the things that were on repeat when I would see people interact with them for the first time, especially a lot within that first year. And quite honestly, it's been 9 years since then, and I still get those questions. But I found myself grieving, going through every stage of grief at that point when I should have been just sitting in what God had done. God had did that within a year. I was holding a book in my hand that didn't exist the year before, and it had been, the beautiful part was I was holding it in my hand a year to the actual day that I was laid off, right? I thought, oh my God, things are really happening. And so what happened then was that I heard all these questions and I felt the pressure just to like make things happen. I prayed, but I did not move um in the direction that God wanted me to move in. I can't even tell you if I was even able to hear from God at that time. All I knew was that I didn't want these questions to keep following me in every conversation. I wanted to do something. I wanted to make things happen. I wanted to get the bag. I wanted to have the man. I wanted to do all the things, so that I could stop feeling this pressure. And so fast forward, years went on, did get out of that relationship. However, I found myself uh, creating a boutique consulting company, something I had always wanted to do when I was in corporate because I felt like I was utilizing my resources in a corporate environment, but I could see myself helping small business owners, especially female-led small business own companies or organizations. I could see myself sharing my skill set with them and helping them. So it was like a dream come true. And so I think I was a little bit delusional because I was like, there's no way that this is not gonna like be successful. There's no way that I'm not gonna wake up in a couple of years and I'm a millionaire because everybody just needs what I have to offer. I honestly feel like that to this day. Like everything that I start out with, I still have that energy. The only difference is I was moving outside of the will of God. I was not praying before I acted or moved on things. I wasn't creating proper plans. I'm a project manager by trade, a program manager by trade, even bigger. And I was just moving. I was just putting together things and doing them. I was thinking up ideas and moving. And years would pass. We're into COVID at this point, right? We started in 2017. Now we're into the COVID year. And honestly, this year was actually really good, 2020 into 2021 because everybody's at home. I'm already working from home. There was lots of folks who were starting businesses. Everyone was having to start online because we were not out socializing. So I was actually able to make some traction, but as soon as it ramped up, as quickly as it ramped up, it also ramped down very quickly. And so I picked up a couple of part-time gigs with online business owners where I learned so much working behind the scenes of their organizations within operations, parts of their organizations. It paid the bills. It was great. But then I also found myself trying to ramp back up my boutique consulting company. And before I knew it, I have never felt this level of burnout. Okay. I found myself living in an apartment that I couldn't afford anymore. So I had to move back home to my mom's house. And the level of burnout that I felt during this season, it was the top of 2022. I can't even describe it. I can't describe it. Okay. It wasn't just like I physically felt like everything hurt. Okay. Like everything hurt. My eyes hurt. I remember touching my eyes before I went to bed. I took a shower and I was touching my eyes and it was like everything was sore. My face was sore, my arms were, everything was sore because I had been at the computer all day, literally sitting at the computer, staring at a screen from like early in the morning, 6 in the morning until almost 11 at night, just consistently because I felt like if I wasn't showing up, then it wasn't going to be great. I felt like if I wasn't putting 110% into my business, then I wasn't going to see the results. What I didn't know was that when you do things with the Lord, when you are inside of the will of the Lord, it feels like you are not doing enough because you have all this energy and all this time. There's a scripture that says you get new strength. I felt like I had been given new strength. I felt like I had new strength, strength as an eagle, right? I felt like I later on when I was doing things with the Lord, I felt like I had new strength. But in this season, I was burnt out. And so what I did at that point was pretty big. I was looking at my 401k that I drained practically all of it because I had bought into all of these investments that would be sure to return, give me the ROI that I wanted. Didn't happen. Um, and I had something to prove. I had something to prove to myself. I had something to prove to all the people who didn't know how to show up and support me, would kind of could be like, well, how's the business going? But not really understanding the true landscape. Whenever if you've never tried something new, if you've never started a business, then it's kind of hard for me to explain, but if you've tried anything new that's outside of the scope of what the people in your environment like understand, not in your environment, but in your inner circle or your external, your two circles, they understand, it's hard to explain to them what you have going on. And we've all been on the outside looking in to what we can see. We can see that a person is not necessarily doing the right thing, but they believe it. I don't know how to explain it. All I can say was I believed in me, and no matter what, I wanted to see it through. However, I was trying to do something outside of the will of God. All right. And so I shut everything down. The top of 2022, I shut everything down. I had gotten the traction I had gotten in January of 2022 should have made me keep going. But I could tell, I was like, there's no way I can physically keep this up throughout the year. I am already exhausted and it is January. Okay. And it could have been the second Friday. It could have been the second Friday of January when I said enough. I had a potential client, a really huge female business owner. You probably know her from online. I was going to work with her. It would have been a dream come true to land her as a client, but as luck would have it, it wasn't good timing for her. It wasn't good timing for me. I was working behind the scenes doing some ghostwriting because again, I am trying all the things that I can possibly do to make me money, to pay some bills. And I just was like, I don't think I can keep this up. I can't keep this up. So 2022, I shut everything down. Shut everything down. When I say shut everything down, shut down websites. I shut down social accounts. I was off of the socials for 2 years. In 2024, I it was August of 2024. I had two opportunities in front of me. I had an opportunity, two job opportunities. One of them I was interviewing for. One of them was I had interviewed and I was kind of like a shoe in for it. I felt confident about both of them. And I remember praying a prayer on the day that I had to make a decision about one of them. And God was like, you did it without me before. This time I want you to do it with me. And so I was like, well, God, what about these two opportunities? Well, by the time I asked that question, I had heard back from one of the opportunities and they said, oh, we're going to go in a different direction. We're going to go with someone else. The other opportunity ended up not panning out in the same day that God told me this, both of these things disappeared. And I was like, Lord, how am I supposed to pay bills though? Like what is it that you want me to do? Because I'm not going to move an inch. Do you hear me? I am not going to write one list. I'm not going to set one goal. I'm not doing anything that you don't want me to do because I've already done that before. And that has cost me so much. Okay. So now we are in 2026. And I can tell you that within a year of that prayer, within a year of that conversation with God, the letters to her future was birth. All right. One book and six journals and counting have been created. And I'm not just throwing that out there to be cocky or whatever, however it may be perceived, but like it had to be God. Like it had to be, I cannot tell you, one of the books is right beside me. Write the Vision Beyond the Board, a Purposeful Path to Vision Action. This is the vision book. The way this entire thing came about, it wasn't just a matter of a day. God like kept planting little seeds and then he placed people in my life that encouraged me to like, they asked me more about this. And then another person was asking me, and another person was asking me. And I said, well, maybe I need to put this information in something that I can share with not even like the world, but just for the people who are asking me about it. And then it was birth. And then just recently, these journals were created. These are the right now journals. I'm showing you this and I'm telling you this story because we are in the process of beginning the 7-day boot camp, the Vision Bootcamp. And I am so passionate about it. I'm passionate about it because I know what it feels like to have a dream, to have this deep desire to do something different, especially in the creative space, and you feel paralyzed in fear. You don't want to move outside of God's will, or you've done it your way long enough and you just don't know what to do. You are in the point where you need money, you are hemorrhaging, your bank account is on fumes, and you're thinking, how can I move from where I am, create the thing, write the book, start the podcast? How can I do the work, whatever it may be that God wants me to do? What is the first step? How do I get started? And so that is why I created the 7-day boot camp. We just finished the 40-day challenge. So if you're a part of that, that's so much detail. It was great. We had a good time. But I also understand that all of us are busy and life be life. And it's hard to be consistent for 40 days. But 7 days, I just beg you, give me a week. Okay. And I pray by the time that you're done, that this thing, if nothing else, hearing my story, okay, going from doing all the wrong things, feeling like a failure, okay, most days, feeling as if I am on an island by myself, trying all the things, losing all the money, dealing with friendship breakups, dealing with romantic breakups, dealing with all the things, to come to a place where now, as I sit and I record this video for you, I am excited about what the future holds. I'm excited about the work that I am doing right now with the Lord every day. Don't get me wrong. I have a conversation. I'm like, Lord, this is what you really want me to do, just this? I say just this because I feel like I have the capacity for so much more, but He's still just, I can't even explain it. So that's why over these next 7 days, I'm going to be going into detail, more detail about how I was able to go in, set goals, not just set goals, not just write things down, but accomplish the goals and actually exceed my own expectations. Okay. Because the God that I serve will do exceedingly abundantly above anything we can imagine or think. There's no way that in 2017 I could imagine that. First of all, I'll be recording this for you all, but also and telling all my business on the internet. But but also being able to be the writer that I've always wanted to be since I was a little girl, being able to share and like just holding a journal like this, the first journal. The reason why I wanted to create a journal line is because creating a journal, uh, receiving a journal as a little girl is what I'll say I was 7 or 8, is what got me into wanting to write in the first place. The beauty of writing things down. I know it's kind of a lost art because we're all into technology and everything that can move, that moves quickly, but there is something beautiful about writing things down. And that is why I created Write the Vision book. That is why I created Letters to Her Future. That is why we're at 6 journals and counting. All right, so that's all I got for this video. I hope that y'all come on this journey with me. It's just 7 days, y'all. Just give it 7 days. And also, it's free. Okay, it's free. It's a pre-recorded video. So even if you are not able to be there exactly during the premiere time, come at your leisure. All right. And tell a friend and then tell another friend, because what I want more than anything, this is like all seriousness. What I want more than anything is to help people, help women specifically, achieve the goals, the God goals that they have been planted inside of them since they were little girls, right? There's so many things that we're supposed to do with this life. And the longer we delay, the more people we're holding up. So don't make them wait any longer. All right, y'all. I'm gonna see y'all over in the boot camp. 7 days. It starts tomorrow. So let's get started. All right.